And TalkSport, a very good-looking matchup, a very even-looking matchup in many ways. It's a Southern Area Lightweight title eliminator. One of the reasons why it's looking like such a good matchup at this stage. There is an L on the record of both of these two, Aaron Prospere and Marley Mason, and the losses have come at about this level, so they've got to prove that they can go again. In Prospere's case, beaten for the Southern Area Super Lightweight title last time out, and in Marley Mason's case, the defeat against Louis O'Doherty. I understand it was quite a hard fight. He retired late in it. And alongside me, Paul Dempsey, we've got the one and only Denzel Bentley. And Denzel, you have a little bit of an insight into at least one of these fellas, don't you?
Yeah, Aaron Prospere, he trains with us down at the Peacock Gym also. Yeah, good fighter, man. He's one of those guys where he just picks up things. He fights. He can fight. He's a fighter. He's a fighting man, and he hits pretty hard for his weight. He's coming down the weight for the first time. You know, he lost the last time out at super lightweight, and he feels like he was boxing at the wrong weight class.
It is quite a step down, isn't it? In terms of proportional weight loss for me. I'm just looking through the weights. Twice recorded weight I could see of 139 when he's got to make weight for a fight, but I couldn't see 135.
Yeah, no, it is a big drop. It's an extra 5 pounds.
And down he goes. Down he goes. Marley Mason with a flying start.
5, 6.
Is that the key to it? Coming down in weight, we're about to find out. A bit sooner than I thought, quite honestly.
Yeah, Mason's a good fighter. He's a pressure fighter. He's going to come and, you know, bring the heat.
So he's got to put all the distractions and all the excitements out of the ring, out of his mind. Prospere. Better start than Marley Mason could possibly have dreamed of. Not a perfect record by any means for Marley Mason. There's also a draw on that record, and the slate is only 6 fights long in total, but every reason to believe he could easily be on the other side of any card. I know that this brilliant matchup tonight between these two promotional houses, slightly different story, but there are other camps that he could be in, Denzel, where he'd be the home fighter and they'd be finding an opponent for him to just get some rounds under his belt against. Different story.
Yeah, most definitely. But Mason's one of those fighters that he's up to fight anybody. I mean, the draw that he has in his record came against Jeff Ofori. Jeff Ofori's a solid fighter. He's had some solid fights and he has a good resume. So to take that in your, I think that was his 3rd or 4th fight.
Correct.
It says a lot about him.
Yeah. Well, what a start tonight. So Prospere. Well, the good thing is here, absolutely no panic, and now he's gone back to Martin Powers, who I don't believe has ever panicked in his life.
Yeah, no, Martin's definitely not a panicker.
But issues to solve after this opening round. It was a little more than a pawing jab, really, wasn't it? Was he off balance?
Yeah, it was like a half hook. I'm thinking there was some balance in there. He was coming, I think. Oh, it was a good jab.
No, actually, that angle's a really good angle, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a good angle, yeah.
It was right on the button, wasn't it?
Right.
That's the thing about it.
Right on the button. Didn't expect it. And that's what he needs to be careful with. He needs to be defensively responsible. I tried to mention that to him in the gym all the time, but he's one of those fighters that just love to have a scrap. But I think that there's going to slow him down and make him think a little bit more about his work moving forward in this fight.
Corners, 10 seconds.
And they're taking every one of the seconds available to them in that Prospere corner, given the start that they've made to this fight. 10 rounds, it's a long way to go. Mason cool, calm and collected, and that's not really a surprise to me given the start he's had. A 10-8 round in the bank.
Good right hands there from Prospere to the head and to the body. He doesn't want to get too wild there. He just missed a wild left hook. He doesn't want to get too excited because he landed those shots. He wants to just tame it a little bit.
If we could wind back time about 7 or 8 minutes, and I asked you who is your actual favourite coming into this fight, and I know you know Prospere, but I know you're also completely neutral when it comes to your analysis. Who would you have said is the favourite?
I would have said Prospere was the slight favourite, but they both took quite bad losses in their last fight. They both got stopped. Prosper's coming down a weight, so that could be also be a component. And Mason's a good pressure fighter, as you've seen now. But yeah, I think this fight's going to go. It's going to go down to who has the better gas tank.
And I'm not a mind reader, but I think the reason you're saying that, Denzel, is actually they both started in quite measured fashion. Even the knockdown was a measured little shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, no,
they are thinking hard 10-rounder, and I need to be able to go another gear in rounds 8, 9, and 10. That's what it says to me at the moment.
Most definitely. And watching both the fights where they both were stopped in, I think it was more due to fatigue rather than they were hurt and they couldn't take any more. It was more to fatigue. So
yeah, great point. Yeah. Prospere stopped in the 9th, and Mason stopped in the 8th, bearing that out. So that's why we're seeing the strategy that we are seeing unfold. Prospere started to make Mason miss a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's starting to use his feet a bit more. He's just stepping out every time Mason steps in, as he's there. So he's keeping that distance every single time.
Getting into his rhythm in quite eye-catching fashion here, Aaron Prospere. This is the tempo that seems to suit him, but from Marley Mason's point of view, he's not getting dragged into anything.
Which is unusual because he usually does. He usually does. Mason usually gets dragged into a fight.
He's on his best behaviour, you see, tonight.
Yeah, most definitely.
But it's early.
Good right hander from Prospere.
I think Mason felt it actually, and certainly felt the second one. Mason turned his man on the rope cleverly before that got any worse.
Yeah.
Good response from Prospere in round 2.
Corners 10 seconds.
What a show we've got here tonight at the Indigo inside the O2 Arena complex here in Greenwich. And a little nod in the direction of the England football team. Football's coming home, the anthem pounded out, but everybody's so captivated. It's a huge crowd in here, incidentally, tonight. I'm amazed at the drawing power. Great credit to both promotional camps. Fighters who sell tickets. A lot of good craftsmen on the bill tonight. And after a rip-roaring contest at super middleweight, this lightweight affair has started in a little bit more measured fashion, but it's a real key moment in the career, in British terms, of both Aaron Prospere and Marley Mason. And I think another element to this tonight, Denzel, might be the question, who is going to handle the pressure of all that a little bit better? And you and I have spoken over the last few, you know what this scenario is like, because people can get behind you, you can do really, really well in an international fight, and then you lose against a British opponent, and it sets all kinds of question marks inside your head, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely it does, because, like you said, you do well against an international opponent, you lose to a British opponent, you start thinking, oh, am I stuck at domestic level because, you lost a domestic matchup, but, it's just about being confident in yourself and going again, and just willing to want to go again. I think it builds character. But,
well, you've certainly shown that in your own career, for sure. These guys are a fair way behind you.
Yeah, but
in terms of accomplishment and indeed experience. But same mentality must apply.
Yeah, most definitely.
Prospere is doing his best to dictate turns.
Oh, good right hand.
Mason finds him with the right hand. As you forecast, Mason is starting to try to press forward a little bit more and try to demonstrate, I think, as well, that he's got a bit more power than Prospere. Clearly he believes that. We're about to find out whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
He does find him with the right hand. Prospere took it well enough. Really smart by Prospere there. He didn't wait on the rope. He stepped forward immediately.
Yeah, he stepped forward immediately. If he stayed in the ropes, then Mason might have been able to let a flurry off, but he found his way out of there.
And moreover, Denzel, just to say one other thing compared to what we saw from Ollie Edwards in the last fight, what I really liked about that, which tells about his class, he stepped off the line when he came out off the rope, didn't he?
It wasn't straightforward. Yeah, it wasn't straight. He came off at an angle, you know, to avoid any shots coming back from Mason.
The thing about Prospere, he's a really good-looking operator, isn't he?
Yeah.
Easy on the eyes, smooth.
Yeah, it's good movement there. He's on the ropes. He's just, you know, rolling under the shots and coming out and finding his way out.
But you've got to be able to take a shot in this business.
Yep, that's it.
Pernell Whitaker could take a shot.
Yes, could.
Colin McMillan could take a shot. What a good fight this is at lightweight. And cracking action all the way. Following this 10-rounder, straight into another 10-rounder on Fight Zone and TalkSport. The Southern Area Super Featherweight title tonight, contested between Frank Arnold and the man we're about to speak to, Michael Webber-Kane.
Mikey Webber-Kane, fight night is finally here. Almost time for you to step into the squared circle. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel really good, fit, sharp, strong and ready.
Obviously, you were last out in February where you picked up the Southern Area title in a very dominant and mature display. Tonight, you'll be defending it for the first time. How do you expect your performance to be?
Same as last time, just a strong, dominant performance. Been working hard in the gym with the team, correcting mistakes and, you know, like really perfecting my craft. So it's just going to be a good, strong performance.
Seconds out, round 4.
So Webber-Kane against Frank Arnold. Coming next. Here we are, getting into the real meat of the action at lightweight between Aaron Prospere down in the first round and Marley Mason. Mason from Southend-on-Sea. Again, he tries to show that he's got the bit more power, I think, to bring to this. We were speaking earlier about how you're rating people at the moment. Nobody would be surprised if we were to look at the British ratings and find out that these two are actually part right beside each other at the moment in terms of British ratings.
Yeah.
They're
I think
at that level, aren't they?
Yeah.
Cracking fight. Prospere can pick him with that jab when Mason is a bit slow to throw the jab, but behind that jab there is that right hand of Mason's. Looks a big weapon in this fight, Denzel, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and he keeps finding it. Prospere needs to find a way to get away from it. Good right hand to the body though from Prospere.
And away he goes, down the rope. Mason knew better than to throw on the move there without setting his feet. There's some good smart boxing from both these guys in this fight. Red hot division in Britain, of course, at the moment, with the likes of Sam Noakes and Mark Chamberlain on their way into world class. And I'm not saying that these two guys are suggesting they could handle the power of the guys at the real top end of those British rankings, but they are two very worthy potential contenders behind them.
Yeah, most definitely, and they're proving their case here. It's like you said earlier, there's a lot of smart boxing, there's a lot of, you know, intelligent things they're both doing in there. At times they're both showing a bit of grit and then it's back on the move and they're getting away from certain shots.
The sense with Mason I have is that there's somebody inside Mason's head telling him all the time, you've got to make the running, you've got to make the running.
Yeah, and he's trying to hold himself back from having a tear up, but he's a good fighter, Mason. He's an exciting fighter.
Can be a bit wild as a consequence, as we saw in that little passage there.
Yeah.
Prospere is the smoother operator, perhaps the more organised operator. I'll be honest, I'm finding this intriguing, but very difficult to score one way or the other.
Yeah, I was also thinking that. I was thinking, how would I score this?
Yeah.
Good thing it's not my job.
So to turn it round ever so slightly, I wonder which corner is happier at the moment with their man. What would you say?
I think both corners will be happy with the work of, you know, their fighters. Marley's slowly piling on the pressure and, you know, building up and, you know, landing some good right hands, and Prospere's come around, his movements, you know, gotten better as the rounds have gone on. He's throwing a nice little Florida combinations and getting out of the way. He's not hanging on the ropes. He's not staying there to be hit, but he is getting caught with one too many right hands. That needs to change.
Top right
Corner
of your screen,
10
TM
seconds.
14-8, Nielsen Boxing 3. That is the state of play in this matchup of
Seconds
the
out
promoters.
to round 5.
This event here at the Indigo in the O2 Arena complex. The collision of the promoters. But what a great job both promotional houses have done putting this together. There's not been a weak link on the card.
There hasn't been, no, there hasn't been.
Really good. Got the crowd absolutely captivated. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what I was going to find coming here tonight, Denzel, but I just tip my hat to all involved. We've got an amazing crowd, the setup's terrific, every piece of matchmaking's been well thought out,
Yeah.
and some big wins along the way.
Yeah, no, it has. I mean, I looked at the card and I thought, because I've worked in a few of these shows, I've seen some of the fighters, and I thought these matchups are good. It's going to be exciting, but I didn't know how, you know, the crowd was going to be. But the crowd, like you said, it's a packed out arena, especially in the middle of an England game. And,
Exactly,
you know,
they're absolutely engrossed in it.
Yeah.
And they know their stuff, of course, which is a plus.
Yeah.
We haven't got the showbiz crowd tonight, apart from you, Denzel. Prospere's corner saying to him all the time, keep it smart, keep it smart. Mason wants him to engage.
Yeah, I think it's in Prospere's best interest to not allow Mason to engage, because that's where he wants to be. Keep him on that outside and keep boxing smart. End of those shots. Good work there to the body there from Prospere.
All the time, folks, do remember the knockdown in the bank belongs to Marley Mason. How significant, if it's a very tight fight, that could prove to be.
Yeah, that could be the difference. That's
It
what I'm
could
saying
be.
about boxing. One little mistake could cost you a fight. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. But luckily, the knockdown came early, so it gives him time to draw some rounds back. If it came later, then it's too late to change.
I think we're getting to the stage in the fight now at halfway, Denzel, that the next question is going to be who can go up a gear
Yeah.
to take control of this. That must be in the minds of both fighters now.
Yeah, I think the winner of this fight will be the person that can, you know, switch the pace and, like you said, go up again.
Again, the reason I say that is because that is something that you are very good at doing. So give our viewers and listeners on Fight Zone and TalkSport a little insight into that. Is it pre-planned, for example, or do you have to assess it yourself?
Yeah, I guess a bit of both. I know at some point when I'm fighting, I need to be able to switch the pace and, you know, take over completely on the fight. But I've got to assess the situation. If it's not possible at that point, then I don't bother. I don't do it. But the minute I can switch the pace, I will. That's something we learn in the gym. We go through the gears in the gym. Sometimes we do a workout. The workout is straight on us. We start fast. It's, you know, gets you out of breath. And then sometimes we ease into it, and then coming to the end of the workout, that's when it's on us, and then, you know, it helps us push that pace again. So we're able to push the pace at either level of the fight.
Okay, and that's so interesting to me, because I thought you would have said there, it's actually when we do an 8 or 10 round hard spar that, you know, that's when we sort our minds out as to that. But it's a more general point, is it?
Yeah.
You'll actually start your workout with a course of action in mind.
Yeah, most definitely. Martin would throw a workout at us, and then it's on us straight away. Like straight away, as soon as you warm up, boom, the work, and you're like, backwards him yet, because at times we're going to need him to start fast. But he fought it before. So when it comes to sparring and he asks us to do something, it's not foreign to us.
Seconds out to round 6.
So into the second half we go. Ahead, live on Fight Zone and Talk Sport tonight. Weber Kane against Arnold for the Southern Area Super Feather title. There's Lewis Roberts against Ben Lilly at bantamweight. The English title on the line in that fight. Terrific matchup. Commonwealth middleweight title eliminator, Joel Bartel, Jordan Reynolds.
Prosper's moving really well this round, and he's using his jab really well. That's a really...
Sweet science lives on.
Yeah.
He just found that little angle to the side, didn't he? I don't think he went through with the shot. It was like a little scouting mission there, but we might see that again in a moment. Prosper dipping left and then going to the body with the right hand. Let's see if he tries it again. Marley responds with a little left hand underneath in his own right. And again, that's smart by Mason, isn't it? And that right hand remains a very powerful weapon, potentially, for Mason, and Prosper needs to respect it.
Yeah, that right hand is working for Mason.
Yeah.
Prosper needs to be really careful of that. Don't want to keep, catching too many of those as the rounds go on and, everyone gets a little bit more tired. Could have a different effect when he lands it later in the fight.
We take it as read that they both believe they can do 10 hard rounds, but sometimes it's a discovery for all involved. Sometimes a fighter can believe he's got it in the bank and it's just not there.
Yeah,
for some reason. You can be carrying a virus you don't know about, that kind of thing.
No, most definitely.
So it's all to be proven, but what does help Mason, I think, is that he's not totally dependent on winning it by increasing the pressure. He seems to have the power, and he's found some good shots in this round.
Yeah,
the 6th.
He has found some good shots in this round, but I think the cleaner shots have come from Prosper. The heavier shots have come from Mason, in my opinion. But the cleaner shots and the more shots have come from Prosper. Prosper's letting that jab go. Every now and then he's getting onto the body, finding an angle, looking for a new opening. Movement's been excellent this round, and I think he's coming into his second win's coming in, and he's finding his rhythm this round.
Interesting. You do see it that way. I see your argument completely, and I think Prosper could do with that actually happening.
Lovely little uppercut.
That's superb, that. And again.
It's that right hand he needs to be careful of. Everything else is catching. Everything from the left he's catching.
Accuracy is telling, isn't it?
Yep.
Another real high quality round. Prosper marched back there like a young man, well, youngish at 27, who thinks that he is starting to get to his man, get right on top of his own game as well, I think, Denzel.
Yeah, I think he walked back to that corner with more confidence, and he's now feeling like he's taking over the fight and the fight's becoming his. So that's good to see from Prosper.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 7.
Final eliminator for the Southern Area lightweight title, but if anybody had told me that this was for the English title, I wouldn't have been a bit surprised, quite honestly.
Oh yeah, most definitely. This is a good level fight, good level contest.
And two fighters who can go a lot higher than this. Mason is the younger by 3 years at 24, and remember, only his 7th pro fight tonight.
Yeah, I got to give Mason a lot of credit. He's actually willing to take fights that are risky. He wants to progress in the sport. He's not taking any shortcuts or trying to cut corners. He wants the fights that he knows that are going to catapult him into bigger and better things.
A lot of measured work from Prospere. Physical force demonstrated there by Mason, but the right hand has been the one to give Prospere problems throughout this fight.
Another shot Mason throws really well is that double left to the body.
Yeah.
He's done that a few times and it's worked in his favour.
I thought Prospere was going to literally meet fire with fire in that respect maybe 2 rounds ago. He started to find him underneath a little bit, but he's not been able to continue with that.
Yeah, Prospere's just, you know, he's opted to box this fight and just move his feet and everything off the jab. He needs to stop complaining to the ref though. Let the ref do his job and you focus on what you're doing.
He's had a look 3 or 4 times in the direction of the referee.
Yeah, he has.
And quite rightly, the referee's not been even slightly interested in that.
Yeah, the minute you take your eyes off your opponent, you know you're in danger of, you know, catching a big shot. Mason just smiling there. I'm guessing he's feeling comfortable this round.
It's all going off here, folks. So first, in the sequence, Mason got a little ticking off from the referee because he's trying a few tricks of the trade. Surprising in one so young, I may add, but we've seen him at it. Prospere knew he was at it and started to respond. The referee then stepped in and took Mr. Mason aside for a quiet word, while Denzel Bentley took Prospere, metaphorically aside, to have a quiet word with him. And Denzel said, "Stop looking to the referee for help," to Prospere, and then Mason came across to Bentley and said, "You mind your own business."
Yeah, it was all going off just there.
That was marvellous. And Mason even now is smiling about it as he sits down.
Yeah, I think he feels he's taken over now.
Yes, I think so. And moreover, I'm watching Martin Bowers in the corner at this precise moment with Prospere, and I think it's time for a reminder. Prospere, you're not won this, not yet by a long way.
Yeah.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Little bit of urgency in the Prospere corner. The lecture was long and quite detailed. 1 or 2 issues to address, perhaps. Don't give ground, they're saying to him. Just that sense that Mason started to move him around a bit more easily in that last round, Denzel.
Yeah, he was giving up too much ground and he's allowing Mason to just walk him down and get his shots off. It was less boxing and more just being pushed around.
Yes.
So I think, you know, the corner of Prospere told him, listen, stop giving up ground so easily, hold the centre at times, show him you're there, put a good jab on him. If I know Martin, I know he's told him to put a good jab on him. Yeah. Prospere's come out this round a lot more alert.
Yeah, urgency.
Urgency, that's
now,
the word,
this is a big moment, isn't it?
Oh, wow. The point taken off in a close fight like this.
Yes,
that
could
counts
make
that
huge difference, potentially.
That counts as an early knockdown.
There was not a murmur of complaint about Mason, but I honestly didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I didn't. But I think he used his head a little bit in there when he was in the clinch.
Some might say, well, that would have been one final warning from a referee, especially in a 10-round fight of consequence like this. You'd have given the guy one final warning, everybody would have known about it, and then no messing about and no reason to complain. But anyway, Mason and his corner just accepted it.
But that's the attitude. I mean, you can't change it. Oh, Mason's cut there over the left eye.
Yes. It's a little nick at the moment. Not much to trouble Mason compared to what we witnessed early tonight with that young light heavyweight John Robertson.
But that was bad. But I think that cut has made Mason start to try a little bit harder. He's forcing his work a little bit more now. That might play into Prosper's hands because he's just coming walking in now with a little bit more fire.
Yeah, urgency. The right hand seemed to me to find the mark. But he's losing this round at this moment, is Mason. And how big a turning point he could be in the overall shape of the fight. Prospere was caught inadvertently there. I don't think there's any dirty or foul intentions in that from Mason. It's one of those things that just happens. But certainly Mason, having had that point deduction, trying his level best right to the end of the round to apply the pressure, and Prospere has dealt with that rather well. So very much in the melting pot. Everybody watching on Fight Zone and Talk Sport, you'll have your own opinion about which way it is going. We're going to just veer away once more to look ahead to what follows for the Southern Area Super Featherweight title. And here is Frank Arnold.
Frank the Tank Arnold, you're going into your 14th professional fight tonight. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling sharp, feeling ready.
Obviously, you're going up against Mickey Weber-Kane. You're challenging for the Southern Area title. It's your first title fight. How excited are you?
Very excited. Tough opponent, but I'm ready to get rolling.
You know, this is a really big show. Obviously, it goes via the 5v5 that we saw out in Saudi. How does it feel to be involved in a show like this?
It was great to be in a big show. At the Indigo O2, you know what I mean? Much better.
Seconds out to round 9.
So no doubt they'll be gloved up by now and ready to go. That was a few minutes ago backstage. Michael Weber-Kane and Frankie Arnold. After we sort out matters between Aaron Prospere and Marley Mason, as they're trying to do right now, Denzel.
Yeah, I mean, a fight like this, I mean, like, the heat of the moment, you're in a fight, you're going to try little tricks and stuff to see if you get away with. So I think it's good that the refs, giving them a little warning.
Just a reminder, exactly,
just a reminder,
at this stage. Try to keep your heads out of the way, gents, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just let them know, don't ruin a good fight.
Yeah, exactly. So early, Prospere on the seat of his pants. Latterly, Mason deducted a point. Try separating these guys tonight.
Yeah, it's literally two styles, what you prefer. I mean, they're both doing what they do pretty well. Mason's now applying the pressure, he's packing it on. Like you said, whoever can up the gear and switch the pace. But Prosper's been able to keep up with the pace and still get out of the way of certain shots and move and be effective with his jabs.
I know you rate Prospere. Can I say what I'm looking to see from him now?
Yeah.
A winner's mentality.
Okay. Yeah.
Unproven in that sense. For all his ability, has he got that little bit of drive inside himself to assert himself and grab a victory? He's so talented. Such a good operator. But you have to have that side to your character, Denzel, don't you?
Almost definitely. That's that switch. That's that switch that needs to flip. You flip the switch before the fight, and there's another switch that you can flip halfway through the fight when it's like, you know what, I need to really dig deep here to nick this win. Otherwise you let it slip.
It seems to me, and this is by no means a forecast of how it's going to be scored, but it seems to me as though Marley Mason does have that desire.
Yeah.
He fights like he does anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah, he fights like he does. He really wants it. He believes he is who he thinks he is. So
talent alone is not enough. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Mason marches his man down.
This is another round where Prosper's fallen into that pattern where he's no longer boxing. He's just moving and, you know, got right hand there again.
Yeah, that looked quite close to being on the money, didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think Mason's been entirely effective so far in this round, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But he's threatened to be.
Yeah, but that front foot pressure, it just doesn't look good for whoever's judging it.
Correct.
I mean, for Prospere anyway. I mean, Mason's pressing and pushing the fight.
Yeah.
Prospere spent the whole fight on the whole round on the back
Now
foot.
he does find him with the right hand. In fairness, Prospere took it well. It's on the other side of the ring to us and maybe wasn't quite perfect, but it was a good shot. And Prospere, it's almost a sign of respect there, the way he grabbed him to make sure that the round bell came.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm reading a bit too much into it, Denzel, but that might have been another moment for Prospere to show that he really wants it by firing back in the last few seconds of the round. He didn't do it there.
Yeah, I think
I'm not doubting his hunger, but champions have that little extra bit.
Oh, 100%.
And we're going to need to see that, I think, from him.
I think he feels the way he's boxing, he's probably up on the cards, but you can't can't leave that in the hands of the judges.
It's a great point.
In this is the last round. He needs to really go for it and make a statement in the last round.
I think Martin Bowers is saying to Prospere, we need a big last round.
Corners, 10 seconds.
And they're trying to rev him up in the corner.
Seconds out to 10th and
Mason does all his own revving up, doesn't he? Terrific fight it has been. High quality affair at lightweight.
Definitely. Two completely different styles that have gelled really well, made a great fight.
Mason's dropping the knee just a little bit, like he wants to launch a big bomb or two.
Yeah,
trying to set himself to throw.
Mason's in that mode where he really wants to hurt Aaron in this last round. Aaron needs to find that spot and, you know, want to hurt him back. But at the moment, Aaron's comfortable boxing. He feels like it's working for him.
Tried to find him with a little uppercut. He's a thinking man's boxer, thinking woman's boxer in so many ways is Prospere. And he's trying to think of the right strategy here. Yeah. Mason isn't thinking, he's just marching forward.
Just marching forward. Marching forward, he's in that mode where he feels like he needs to dig deep to you know, grab this win.
To coin a well-used phrase, war, baby. He's trying to bring war.
Trying to bring war.
Yeah.
He wants to drag Prospere into a fight, into his fight.
I will not take a backward step under any circumstances, says Mason. Aaron, they say in the corner, push him back. I get that. Minute and a half to go here, Denzel.
Yeah, I think this is... He caught him with a good left hook in between there, but I don't think he realised he hurt him. If he did, he wouldn't have let him hold and lean on him. A Prospere needs to hold the centre of the ring this round. Push Mason back, see how Mason is on the back foot.
Who knows? Even one big shot either way might win this fight.
Almost definitely.
Beaten late, each of these two in their last outing. Mindful of that, they know they've got to close the show this time, but Mason is perhaps landing more potent shots in trying to close the show here at the end. "30 seconds and no more." Backwards and backwards on his bike goes Prospere, not throwing a lot right at the finish. Mason hunting his man, found a big right hand. It was a good shot, but Prospere has managed to deal with that. Prospere knows he has to come out firing out that clinch. Listen, who threw the last shot? Maybe it was Mason. It was a good late flurry from Prospere. Both corners have just looked at each other summer, great fight.
Yeah, no, it was a well-matched fight. Both fighters have a case, you know, to feel like they've won this fight. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. Very entertaining.
Brilliant. And now Marley Mason, as we watch the replays, has come over and made up with Denzel Bentley.
Yeah, after sticking it on me a few rounds earlier. All good. No, Mace he's a good guy, man. I got a lot of love for him, a lot of time for him.
So Prospere rightly milks the applause. Now Mason follows suit. It's got to be close. It's got to be very close indeed. Either way, it won't over affect the score in terms of the match between the two promotional houses. But most certainly Nielsen Boxing could do.
Ladies and gentlemen,
winning one at
after
this stage.
10 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Reese Carter scores the bout 96-92. And your winner, Aaron
Prospere gets it, and he gets it by 4 points.
Yeah, I heard the scorecards and I thought, oh, a bit wider than we thought it would be. But it was a good fight. Like I said, both guys have a case of as to why they feel that they won. I think Mason probably feels like he was hard done by there. He performed really well. He applied that pressure and late. Aaron was boxing really well on the back foot and, you know, making a miss. It was two styles. Like I said earlier, it's what you prefer. Do you prefer the boxing or do you prefer the pressure? But they both boxed well. It was hard for me to split them.
Terrific fight it was. Another way perhaps of looking at it is to say the more precise puncher won over the man with a bit more power on this occasion.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. I think that's the right way to say it.
It's been taken in good part by Mason. He's got nothing to worry about. Nobody should be. It's a case with Marley Mason that nobody should be fooled by the career record. That's 7 fights in. He's lost 2 and drawn 1, but he's a very good operator.
Very good operator.
And anything
Very
can
tough
happen.
fighter.
Anything can happen in his career, I would say.
Yeah, most definitely.
Even now.
Especially with his winner's mentality.
Yes.
He has a winning mentality, and he's up for the fights. So the opportunities will come knocking, and he has to grab them with both hands.
Terrific stuff, Denzel. Thank you very much indeed. And we're about, hopefully, to get a word with our winner, Aaron Prospere. Here he comes, Stacey Copeland. Nothing deters Stacey, and Stacey has now got Prospere to the camera, and I think we're ready to go. Over to you, Stacey.
Aaron, had everybody worried there in the first round and had to dig in and come back there. I mean, talk us through what was going through your mind in that first round.
So in the first round, he caught me, got a square, and I was off balance. So he knocked me over, but I knew I was alright. I got myself up, dusted myself off, and we carried on.
Talk me through the fight in general then, because you came on really strong after that, particularly in the middle rounds.
So Marley was hard work. I decided early on that I didn't want to stand there and trade with him, because my game plan coming into this fight was that I wanted to box him. And when I realised how strong and how aggressive he was, I realised the back foot was going to be the best case scenario for me.
You had 4 contests last year. Your first loss in September, which was contending for this title. This was the eliminator for the Southern Area title. How's it been coming back from a loss? How did you find it?
Losing that fight made me go back to the drawing board. Got a nutritionist. I realised that that wasn't my correct weight. I was fighting at super light, but now I've come down to lightweight, and I feel much bigger, much stronger, much better for it. And that fight was, I started too aggressive in the first 4 rounds, and I just didn't have the energy and physicality to keep it up, and that's what made me realise I need to go down a weight route.
Of course, the current holder of this title that you've just fought in the eliminator for, there was Louis O'Doherty. He defended it against Jeff Afori a few weeks ago at York Hall. That, I've got to assume, is the next focus for you.
Yeah, so of course I want the Southern Area title. Louis is one of my teammates. I train with him, I spar with him. I don't know what he's doing with the belt, but for me to step up, I've got to get that belt. So I've got to do what I've got to do.
Well, I can hear all your supporters behind me waiting to congratulate you, so go and celebrate with them. Well done, and big exciting nights to come for you. Well done, Aaron. Back to Paul Dempsey at ringside.
Thank you, Stacey. Where the score is now TM14 Promotions 9, Nielsen Boxing 3. I think we can declare that contest closed, but we've got the best of the action still to come here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
again,
now it's time for our next bout of the evening. Scheduled 10 3-minute rounds. And for the Southern Area Super Featherweight Championship. And now, please welcome the
Lovely
challenger,
belt, and
Frank
around whose
the
waist
Tank
will it
Arnold.
reside in maybe about a half an hour from now. Here comes Frankie Arnold.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, Mikey Weber Kane.
So Michael Weber Kane from Great Yarmouth. Guess he feels he's on away territory tonight, but in terms of the promotional matchup between the
ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds for the vacant Southern Area
This is for the vacant Southern Area Super Featherweight title. Michael Weber Kane, 12 straight wins.
This bout is brought to you by Mark Nielsen of Nielsen Boxing in association with TM14 Promotions and their proud sponsors, Allegra and Lapworks. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, the area representative, Ben Harmsworth, and the inspectors ringside, Robert Myatt, Terry Fleming, and Harry McCauley. Your timekeeper at the bell, Mark Shannon, and the third man in charge of the action in the ring, referee Chris
straight onto
Jones.
something against Brian Mairea.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, he's wearing the black and white. His official weight of 129.5 pounds. He has a record of 13 fights, 1 loss, 1 draw, 11 wins, and 3 of those wins come in by way of knockout. Hailing from Hackney, London,
after that loss, he had a lot of time now, a lot of time to recover, self-reflect, and get back in the gym and slowly start believing in yourself again and believing in your ability. He's here now fighting for the Southern Area. in a fight he probably thought he
And
lost out on
across the ring, fighting out of the blue
here now,
corner.
like you said, it's time
He's
for him to
wearing
show,
the blue and white. His official weight of 132.9 pounds. He is currently undefeated with 12 wins, and 2 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Great Yarmouth, England, United Kingdom, introducing Mikey Weber Kane.
But also with Weber Kane, his last performance was really impressive. It was a great performance. He showed a lot. I mean, he's probably in a fight where he probably wasn't the favourite. He's come out and got the stoppage. In his quest to become a Southern Area champion. So I think I'd favour him tonight. Frankie Arnold, a very good boxer, very neat, clean boxer. But Weber Kane is
seconds out.
To beat right
round
now.
1.
So here we go. Paul Dempsey alongside Denzel Bentley in the Indigo, the O2 Arena complex in Greenwich. It's been a brilliant night of boxing. We've got fantastic crowd. It's all live for you on Fight Zone and Talk Sport, and a proper contest at super featherweight. This is sure to be for the Southern Area super featherweight title.
Some near misses there from both fighters. Both very sharp.
I know it doesn't mean a lot, and we're about to find out whether it's a foretaste of what we're going to see, but Arnold looks in absolutely magnificent condition, doesn't he?
He does. He's come through with a nice sharp jab, very focused, laser focused. You can see he's wide-eyed, he's focused tonight.
Weber Kane is a different kind of build, different kind of athletic specimen, but he's a stocky, strong man, isn't he?
He is. And I'm sure the last time I saw him box, he was a southpaw, so he's opted to go the other way just to get that, advantage of being on the other side.
Big win over Robert Caswell. That was Caswell's first defeat, actually.
Yeah.
Stopped him in 6.
Yeah, really good win. Really good win. Good right hand there from Weber Kane. Arnold took it well.
It's a very good right hand, that is. Real sharp shot, and you know what? Arnold felt it.
He felt it, yeah.
He's acting as though he didn't, but he did.
Yeah, he's got his poker face on right now.
Yes, and he didn't dance away from the rope, did he? He crabbed forward. It was the right thing to do, but he was certainly just reminding himself, right, this guy's a live one. You've got to be careful. Weber Kane may be the away fighter in the geographical sense in this one, but he has got some support here. People have travelled down from Great Yarmouth. They believe in him. Quite a little sub-theme to the show tonight with young Tommy Fletcher acting as part of the Tibbs corner team.
Yes.
It's great to see that earlier.
Yeah, supporting his stable mate. But,
1, 2,
It's counted as a knockdown, right on the bell.
5,
I wonder whether there was a
6,
little
7,
clash of feet. He's
8.
absolutely fine, Arnold, but that means he's going to lose the round.
Yeah. I think that shot even landed on the glove. Should sit here in the
He's frustrated. He's so annoyed with himself. He's cursing himself, actually, in the corner. One might say it's a bit sloppy, right on the bell. I don't know about that, Denzel, but, a lot of people wouldn't have given that as a count, quite honestly.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be a count.
Here's some of the work from earlier in the round as they both settled in. Weber Kane was initially in no rush. There it is there at the end. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a tangle in the feet.
Yeah.
He caught the shot, bit of balance. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't hurt nothing.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Pardon the awful pun. On balance, I can see why he counted, but it's a rough
seconds out.
way to lose a round.
Yeah,
Round
it is. Yeah,
2.
especially on the bell.
because he took the shot fine.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a breakthrough right from the get-go tonight by Michael Webber Kane. What's screaming at me early on is that Webber Kane and his team have prepared very well for the southpaw opponent.
Oh yeah,
footwork's really good.
Yeah, yeah. Footwork's really good. He knows exactly where he wants to be, and he's looking for that right hand. You can sort of see him looking for the right hand. There's a lot of spite in it. That was just a near miss there.
Arnold looking the part in the first couple of minutes, but Webber Kane is beginning to get it rolling. And that suddenly looks a more tentative jab from Arnold, doesn't it? This is the problem I felt with Frankie Arnold once or twice. When something goes wrong, there's doubt creeping in. Now compare and contrast with Webber Kane here, who's got a nick over the left eye, and can't be certain, but I don't think it's in a very good place. And there's blood starting to come down into the eye, so the corner will be needed. But Webber Kane, not disturbed, not perturbed, comes forward nonetheless.
Yeah, comes forward. It's not phased him. He's still marching forward. He's still staying focused on his work. He hasn't even dabbed at it to see if he's cut. Oh, good straight right hand there. Webber came through a right hand. The gumshoe of Arnold came out. He just sort of caught it and threw it and said, "Let's keep fighting." Obviously, the refs, stopped it to put the gumshoe back in.
I'm just keeping an eye on Webber Kane. And to your point, Denzel, even when there was that stoppage, he didn't even touch it with the glove, that cut. Mentally, he's in the zone here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in the zone. Some good right hands landing there.
Yes.
He landed a good straight early and a good right to the body just a minute ago.
This could develop into a really good fight, I think.
Oh, good
and
straight
quite
right
explosive fight.
Yeah, both guys are sharp, but Webber Kane is the one that carries the most power. You can see it in him, and he's probably the more physical as well.
There's also a tiny little swelling, a little mouse forming above the left eyebrow of Frankie Arnold.
Good shots there from Arnold.
Yeah, nice left cross.
Gets caught there with a right hand. He's going back in straight lines. He needs to come round.
Slightly in danger of admiring his best work, I think, Arnold. Can't do that here tonight.
He can't afford to do that. His left hand just skimmed over the top of Webber Kane's head. Bit of tangling in the feet there, I'm guessing.
Bound to be a factor the way that they are setting up tonight.
Yeah.
So Webber Kane goes to his corner, and there's no real concern over that little nick just at the moment, dabbing it away. The adrenaline swab gets in there. Conversely, from Arnold's side, I mentioned there's that little mouse quite high on the left side of the temple. That shouldn't be a problem either.
Nah, yeah, it shouldn't. Corner just pressing it down.
So Webber Kane with the advantage of a knockdown scored against Frankie Arnold at the end of the first round.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Hard really to make a case that Arnold went out and claimed the second. I don't think we could do that, could we?
Seconds out. Round 3.
It was close. I mean, nah, I think the second went to Webber Kane also.
But it's still early in this fight.
It is.
Webber Kane strong and resolute, and he looks mighty sharp. Short-armed he may be, but he's getting into range without really any problem. And he knows what to do when he's inside. "13 fights, 1 stoppage defeat, 3 stoppage wins for Arnold. Stopped Lee Glover early. Stopped Karan Holman in the 4th round. The right hand to the body from memory, it's a long time ago. Back in the early days of Frank Arnold's career. Would you believe that was 2017? I had to look twice at the record about that. He's only 25 now.
Yeah,
teenage prodigy at that stage, wasn't he?
Yeah, most definitely. He turned pro quite young.
Yeah. Am I right in thinking, actually, Denzel, that Arnold was one of those that could have become a big part of the Team GB program and thought better of it?
Yeah,
turn pro.
I think you're right.
I have a vague memory of that being the case at the time.
Yeah, he ended up turning pro. Ended up being managed by Tunde Ajayi, signed with Frank Warren. And yeah, started off his career well.
Weber Kane is from a slightly different school, the school of hard knocks in some ways, the way he's trying to do this tonight.
Yeah.
I think there's little doubt he's winning this 3rd round. Very businesslike, Michael Weber Kane.
Good straight left to the body there from Arnold.
What comes next is the question, though, isn't it? 1 and 2 shots compared to volume of punches and some powerful shots going the other way. Weber Kane pressing it again. Arnold's taking 1 or 2, maybe more than he should take, but he's not getting out of the way of any of them.
He's not. He needs to get off the ropes and try and find a way back to the centre.
The problem there, Denzel, was that although Arnold wanted to do that, he looked up and he thought, the guy's got me cornered either way I go here. He's really worked him out, hasn't he?
Yeah,
against the southpaw tonight.
Yeah, no, he has. Arnold's finding more trouble landing on Weber Kane.
He's always able to set himself, isn't he, for these attacks, Weber Kane.
Good left hand there. Yeah, he is. He just creeps in, he finds a way in and he lets his hands go. And Arnold doesn't move in his head enough. He's just staying there. He's a bit upright and he's there to be hit. So wherever he throws, Weber Kane's gonna land.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 4.
Some of the Arnold supporters just appear to me to be a little concerned that Arnold is not establishing himself. Start fast was the cry coming out for this 4th round. He tries there.
Yep. Good try, another good left hand there landed from Arnold.
Oh, it's a strong right hand. Weber Kane pins him on the rope. Arnold doesn't get the feet moving. Arnold's in big trouble. Massive left hook was right on the money. And in fairness, Frank Arnold walked forward and showed some fair bottle there to do that, because that was a great shot. But he's taking 2 or 3 too many.
He is. He's taking more than he needs to. He's taking more than he needs to. He's getting hit with these big shots, but as well as fighting these shots, he's fighting some demons. That I'm not letting myself get knocked out. I'm not letting myself get hurt. I've got to fight back, and that's probably why he's marching forward as he's getting hit with these shots. He's being braver than he needs to be.
It's a bit early for that kind of thing. You're quite right, Denzel. And Weber Kane, big assault. What's impressive is that he hasn't got ragged. He's reset himself to try to go again. But a breakthrough nonetheless. The way this minute and a half has just played out, however, proves again what great matchmaking that this show is giving us.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Had there been a mistake in the matchmaking, Arnold could well be out of the fight if he didn't have what he's just demonstrated.
Yeah, most definitely.
And now a good response by Arnold. but he needs more.
He needs more. He needs a lot more.
He's winning moments, but he's not winning the rounds, I don't think.
He needs to throw a lot more shots. He needs to be more dominant with his jab again. Like when he came out in the first round, his jab was sharp, piston-like jab. He needs to get back to that.
This is the exact position where Weber Kane had that big breakthrough in this fourth round. Arnold again takes one that maybe he shouldn't be taking.
I mean, it is still a bit too early, but this is where the corner's got to look at looking after the fighter a little bit. He's taking way too many. He's not completely out on his feet, but he's taking more than he needs to take. They've got to let him know, look, we're giving you a couple more rounds. If you keep getting hit like that, I've got to look after you here.
That's interesting insight. Thank you, Denzel. In the Weber Kane corner, they're saying to their man, just keep moving your head. He kind of stopped for a few seconds there, as if he's saying to himself, listen, this guy can't hurt me. That would be a mistake. One well-timed shot could level everything up.
Yeah, most definitely. The thing about Arnold, it would be different if he was taking these big shots but winning some rounds. He's not winning no rounds and he's taking big shots. He's making it hard. Good work from Weber Kane though.
A lot of good work from Weber Kane, but in fairness to Arnold, crisis moment seems to have passed for now. That right hand there led to all the trouble. That left hand, it was slightly obscured actually, unfortunately, from that camera angle, but pinned to the rope, the left hand, one of the last shots in that attack. That was a really damaging shot that he landed.
That was a really damaging shot, that was a big shot. And if Frankie Arnold hadn't walked forward and kind of held on to Weber Kane, he might have gone over.
Correct. Anyway, so there's a little kudos in that for Arnold, but there's no prizes for just being brave tonight.
Yeah, there isn't. There we go, that's that jab we want to see from Arnold. He wants to get back to that work.
In flashes, Arnold is looking what we know he is, a very good boxer.
Yeah, he is. But he's up against a man in Weber Kane.
A bull.
Yeah. You can see physically he's shaped, he's stronger. He's putting more spite in these shots, and he wants it more. You can see from the way he's fighting, he's not letting his title go tonight.
He moved as though to launch another of those big attacks there, but Arnold was wise to it and moved away.
Yeah, you see Weber Kane just moving to his left, setting up that right hand. Arnold needs to, show us that hand speed that we know he has, and start landing some combinations and moving out of the way.
So, at the proper halfway point of a scheduled 10-rounder, we think the first half overall in this fight has been shaded by Michael Weber Kane.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But Arnold is still in there. Arnold fans, don't despair, don't panic just yet. Frank Arnold didn't panic.
Good shot there from Arnold.
Yeah, that was good.
This is what he needs to see. Or, his corner needs to see from him to have confidence going into the second half of this fight.
We've spoken a lot about the work that you do Monday to Friday in your gym, and thank you for your insight tonight on that, Denzel. I think Michael Weber Kane is a Monday morning kind of performer. I wouldn't have thought that a nice weekend off means a slow start to Monday if you're in Michael Weber Kane's camp.
I
think he's on it.
He's on it.
Monday morning, isn't he?
Monday morning, he's on it.
He has that kind of attitude. Right hand catches Arnold again. Arnold may think that's the best he's got, so I'm going to be okay taking these. I don't know that that's a good idea.
I don't think it is neither. I mean, too many of those can't be good for you.
There has been some good boxing from Frank Arnold in this round, and you know, number one, he's a good-looking operator when he starts to put it together as he did there, but he needs to put a few rounds in the bank.
He does. I think apart from the first round, this was his best round.
Yeah. We're right at the business end of this evening now at the Indigo, and coming next it will be Lewis Roberts against Ben Lilly for the vacant English and Commonwealth silver bantamweight title. Here's Lewis Roberts getting ready.
Lewis, almost time for you to step into the squared circle, fighting for the vacant English and defending your Commonwealth silver bantamweight title. How are you feeling?
I'm so buzzed to be here. This is yeah, real buzzing for it.
You're facing Ben Lilly. You won the last time you were out against Ben Lilly in a very close points decision. How are you expecting tonight to go?
I'm expecting something completely different, so much so that I've not even bothered watching the last fight back with Ben, because I know he's going to bring something completely different. He's had 6 months.
Straight back to action we go. That, of course, is a rematch, the Roberts-Lilly fight. I think a replay of the first 5 rounds here is not going to be enough for Frank Arnold in this 10-rounder against Michael Webber-Kane. But there were some hopeful signs, perhaps, Denzel, in that last round for Arnold.
Yep, even now he's getting that left hand off. He's moving better, he's moving well. He's got himself together now. Like, I feel like maybe he could, you know, do better the second half of the fight. Good left hand there again.
This is good from Arnold.
That is good from Arnold.
First time in the fight that Webber-Kane's really been asked to find a little bit more.
Yeah.
He came out looking like he was really well prepared for the job. They thought about how they wanted to fight, and it was working. But Arnold has turned this round a little bit. The debate is slightly different suddenly. Arnold's starting to move better, isn't he?
Starting to move better. He's starting to play some nice shots. Head and body.
Yeah.
He's got himself together and he's boxing well this round.
The reason I mentioned that, and if somebody writes afterwards and says, you got that wrong, Dempsey, that's fair enough, and I apologise.
Yeah.
But I mentioned this a while ago, Denzel. He was very well thought of, wasn't he, in the amateurs, Arnold? And we still see little signs of that for me, once or twice. Yeah. You know, when he's under pressure, there is that tendency to be a bit too upright at times, and not put defence first.
Yeah. He comes up a bit too upright, and you know his hands don't go with him all the time.
Yes, exactly that. But once he steps on, steps in, and in the same, like that, in the same moment, lets the hands go, he is a good operator.
Yeah, he's got very good hand speed. Yeah. And you know that's what you know he needed to show tonight. His hand speed and his accuracy, and you know just a little bit more confidence. But he's taken Webber-Kane's best.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to give him confidence that, you know, that's like you said earlier, if that's what you got, then I can take it and I'm going to come back with my work.
And what makes him also look a good operator is that mid-ring, his hands aren't in a high guard. They're at half mast or around the shoulder area, ready to throw.
Ready to throw, ready to throw.
But just there we see it.
But then going back, he needs to pick them up and be ready to defend.
That may even go back to the days of the head guards, when you think, well, he's not going to hurt me if I leave my head up there, you know. Yeah. This is pro boxing. What a good round.
That was a good round for Arnold.
Terrific.
Good round for Arnold. He's found a bit back into this fight.
And do you know what? In the corner at this precise moment, they're saying to Arnold, you are leaving your chin out. You are a bit too upright at times when you're finishing off your own work. Yeah. When you've been winning the exchange, they're making the exact point right now.
Yeah, and that's what Martin says.
You can see it now, as I pointed out.
He's showing them move your head.
Yeah, they're dead right. Yeah. If they could just address that issue, could be I won't say a career changer, but it would just add so much to Arnold, I think.
Yeah, most definitely.
Corners,
that's
10
something that
seconds.
he could learn from this fight. You know, he could pick up in training and, you know, try to, you know, work on. In the gym, Marlon always screaming at us, don't admire your work, don't admire your work. And that's what he's doing tonight, admiring his work, and he's getting caught, come back out.
What a good fight we've got here, folks. Live on Fight Zone and Talk Sport. Well, there's not been a bad one on the card tonight, and that's the truth of it. We brought you every fight live. But the overall quality, I think, is going up. The stakes are greater in these 10-round fights at the top end of this card. And we're watching a lot of guys who, for me, could go on to British level.
Yeah, most definitely. This is the grassroots. This is the, you know what I'm saying, the small horse shows. But you know, they managed to get a big venue for it. But the small horse shows is the grassroots of boxing. This is the field that I've come from. You know, if I can do it, then a lot of these fighters have the potential to do it. And some of them have had, you know, a lot of better amateur pedigree than I have. So
I think you're selling yourself a little bit short there, son.
Oh, good shot there.
Both ways. Arnold first, and again that left hand from Arnold. So he wins that exchange, and again to the body this time. And he's quick hands, aren't they, from Frank Arnold?
Yeah, really quick hands, man. He's really showing character here.
Yeah.
He could have, you know, given up mentally and been like, you know what, I'm taking too much here, and look for a way out. He hasn't. He's stuck straight in there, and he's coming back. He's put himself right back into this fight.
Weber Kane from the outside. That's not his territory, and he's been beaten to the punch now.
Yeah.
He was stepping in so well, off angles, underneath, coming up with big shots in the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Arnold was still getting caught, coming out of his, you know, after throwing his combinations. Yeah. That's the only thing letting him down right now.
It's been said to me more than once over the years, 3 months in a gym in Mexico and you wouldn't do it once again in your life. I think you know the point I'm making.
Yeah, most definitely.
Can't get the jab going, can he, Weber Kane, just at the moment?
You can't find Arnold with that jab. Arnold's comfortable now, he's coming forward, he's holding the centre of the ring now.
And keep an eye on the feet to follow Denzel's point there, everybody, because in the early rounds, that left boot of Weber Kane was almost fastened onto Arnold's right boot. And Weber Kane always seemed to have the upper hand. There's a bit more space between them on the canvas now. That's where it's all starting from at the moment. Weber Kane just cannot close, and when he's tried to close, Arnold has picked him off.
He has. Arnold has shown a lot of character in this fight, and it's good to see. It's good to see. He's battled those demons, and you know he's really picked himself up, and he's put on a good fight right now.
Just a different feel in that Arnold corner right now. The body language is a bit more positive. Here are some of the reasons why again. See, even that right hand there from Weber Kane in rounds 1, 2 and 3, that was landing, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were landing. It was landing clean. It was landing at will. Now it's falling short. And he doesn't quite know what to do to get back into range. That's the great thing about boxing. It's never straightforward.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 8.
I think it's all up for grabs, and that's a great compliment to Frank Arnold, who was under a lot of pressure here early on. 3 to go. And again, this round has started the way the last round ended, with Arnold more in his comfort zone.
It's a totally different fight now.
It really is.
First half. Arnold's really made a great account of himself.
The momentum has slowed a lot for Michael Weber Kane, hasn't it?
Yeah. He put too much into the first half of that fight. He doesn't look like he's tired, but he put a lot into it.
I thought earlier tonight on this card, Denzel, to your point, we did see a couple of the 6-round kids actually do that. I don't think Weber Kane has done it. I think that Arnold has had a good talking to in the corner, and he's looked at himself in this fight and gone, right, this could be a sliding doors moment if I just subside here, and I'm not willing to do that.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. And I also think after taking what he took, he felt like, you know what, I'm not out of my league here. But he still needs to be careful. Weber Kane's still piling on the pressure. Still piling it on.
But it's been a while since Weber Kane actually hurt Arnold. And that was the last point you made. I actually did feel that in about the 4th round that Arnold said to himself, now I think I felt all this guy has got.
Yeah.
And I feel better about it all now. I will add that in top-level championship boxing, you think like that, it's going to be over for you. You need to be better than that, and you know that. You know that.
Yeah.
But tonight, that might be also a part of the way that this story has unfolded and turned back in Arnold's favour. Isolated successes for Weber Kane, that was one of them. But it's Arnold in the centre of the ring. Arnold has established the space and time to do his best work. Is he now trying to draw Weber Kane onto something? Has he got the power? The equaliser, Arnold.
I mean, the thing about both of these guys, on paper, neither of them carry, concussive power.
Correct.
I mean, it's enough. You can hear the shots. There's sting in it, but not, not one punch knockout power or whatever the case may be. So they're both in for a hard fight tonight.
Well, given how vulnerable to some of those shots Arnold was actually in the first 3 rounds, he goes over.
2,
what a
3,
turning point!
4, 5, 6.
Arnold does find a shot. One of the most important shots he's ever thrown in his career.
Most definitely.
Weber Kane's okay. I think Weber Kane has got more of a problem mentally than physically right now, because he was so good for a large part of this fight, but now it seems Arnold is taking over.
He is, and he's probably thinking to himself, how has he managed to take all that and come back? How has he still got more in the tank? But like I said before, Arnold's shown a lot of character here, and it's good to see he's made for a really, really, really great fight.
He timed it to the body, that's what happened there.
Yeah, he timed it to the body, he did. Timed it really well.
But in a sense, that really proves to me that maybe Weber Kane is starting to come second in this fight. Back to it in a moment or two. We're going to head away, even though that this is a big moment for Arnold, certainly. Big moment ahead for Ben Lilly in our next title fight. Here he is.
Ben Lilly, fight night is finally here. Almost time for you to step into the Lion's Den, where you're going to fight for the vacant English and challenge for the Commonwealth Silver Bantamweight title. How are you feeling?
I feel so good. I feel so good. Like the buzz and my mindset and everything. This camp has been absolutely.
So Ben Lilly feels good. We're all really looking forward to that rematch. Who feels good here now? It may well be Frankie Arnold.
Oh, good right hand there from Frankie Arnold.
Weber Kane on the seat of his pants right at the end of the 8th round. Weber Kane dominant early on, but now needing more. Arnold has had 3 or 4 really good rounds, but it's championship time here, isn't it? Even over 10 rounds in this particular case, Denzel. And in a sense, we now have a blank sheet of paper, because Arnold has responded so well, levelling up the score surely.
Yep.
It's down to who has got more with 2 to go.
That's it. I think it's on the line. The last 2 rounds are on the line. Whoever wins this can still the fight. Oh, good backhand there from Frankie Arnold. And the momentum right now is of Arnold. Oh, good right hand there.
Yeah, but he did go back in a straight line. He invited that shot, Arnold.
Yeah, he's making just little mistakes. He's making that's costing him, the round. Look, head up too high. The hands ain't coming back to protect himself. He needs to start coming round.
Suddenly Weber Kane gets his man where he wants him again. Did Arnold think he'd done enough to take control at the end of the previous round? I don't know. Did Arnold suddenly find his own gas tank running a little bit low. We will never know for sure.
He's probably just getting a little bit too comfortable landing that
Maybe
roll.
so.
You cannot afford that. You cannot afford to get too comfortable.
Webber Kane comes on strong.
He does. Piling on the pressure again. He's finding that range again. He's closing the gap better than he was in the last few rounds.
Arnold really put a stop to all that, didn't he, from about round 4 with that really sharp left hand in particular. He was catching Webber Kane on the way in to the point that Webber Kane started to give ground.
Yep.
But now Webber Kane is walking through it.
Yeah.
And he wants it. He wants it up close like this. Last 30 seconds of the penultimate round. Been a good response from Webber Kane. The essence of a fighting man in that sense. Down, maybe a little bit embarrassed about it, wasn't really hurt. Mindset changes, must find more.
That's
Has
it.
done so.
He has. He wants it in the centre of the ring. Arnold needs to just stay focused and just keep moving and keep doing what you're doing, keep boxing.
That was a great response from Webber Kane.
That was. He wasn't happy with that knockdown and he wanted to kind of level up that round.
What an intriguing contest. It surely is all up to be won and lost here.
Yeah, I think it's all in this last round. It's hard to split them. It's a fight of two halves. The first half you could give to Webber Kane with the knockdown as well, and then the second half you can give to so far you can give to Arnold with his knockdown as well also. So it's really close. It's really close. I think the last two rounds, were what was going to be the decider.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, 10 and final round.
Cracking contest, captivating stuff both ways. Who's going to go out and grab it?
Oh, good left hand there from Arnold.
Right hand coming back the other way was all right as well. Arnold seemed to stumble.
Webber Kane's patting under pressure.
Swinging through the arc, he's not bothering to move the feet, is he? He wants to stay here and exert the pressure. Arnold needs to get off the ropes. Another right hand which he swallows. Arnold needs to wake himself up quite urgently. He's looking in a bit of bother here, Denzel, early in this last round, isn't he?
No, he is. I think he needs to tie him up and find a breather somewhere. He can't keep getting caught in these exchanges.
Never seemed to get going at the start of the 9th round after all his good work prior to that, Arnold. And he's taking some big shots here early in the 10th round.
He is. Webber Kane's finding that distance. He's finding the shots.
Arnold's in trouble.
He's got to move. He's got to move his feet. He's got to move his feet. He's too stationary.
The bootlace has come undone.
That was undone from the last round. They've ignored that to get a bit of breather.
Now that is what I call insight, Mr. Bentley. It always amazes me that the other guy in boxing, unlike football, let me tell you, Denzel, would have had arms going everywhere. Protest. Here comes Webber Kane again, piling it on. There's not going to be a way out this time for Frank Arnold. There's only one way, and that's to fight.
He's got to move
First,
his
he's
feet.
got to move.
There we go. Hold the centre and move again.
He just can't get the legs going at all, can he?
He can't. Webber Kane is just, booting the door down and forcing his way in. He's forcing his way for this win.
Correct.
Like you were saying in the last fight, that winner's mentality. Webber Kane is showing that right now. He lost a couple rounds back to back on the bounce, and the last round he's thinking, I'm not losing this. No matter what happens here, I'm not losing this last round.
And I'm afraid it's something else we spoke about during this fight. The chin is out, the head is up. He's a big, easy target to hit. He can't make himself smaller, and he cannot get the gloves up enough. He's trying it right now, Arnold, but it's not instinctive with him, is it?
It's not. It's not. And even when his hands are up, they're up, but they're not defending.
Yes, correct. That's also true. So he's winning this last round at the moment, Webber Kane, by an absolute landslide.
By a landslide. But Arnold is doing really well to stay in there and even press forward. Showing a lot of character.
Brilliant fight, living up to all our hopes for it. Two very high quality super featherweights. A champion showing perhaps, a champion in making perhaps, the way Michael Weber Kane has turned this back in his favour, surely, right at the finish. Absolutely pouring it on. An absolute avalanche has come Arnold's way. Attack after attack, right to the closing moments of this 10th and final round. Weber Kane on top early, Weber Kane on top, right to the finish line.
What a fight. Credit to both guys, what a fight.
And as weary as Arnold looked at times in rounds 9 and 10, I've got to say, he is a fit, well-prepared kid, because to me he looks absolutely fine.
No, yeah, he is. He was in great shape for this fight, because you can't take the shots he took and, you know, stand on your feet and give it back if you're not in great shape. So he had a good camp. Credit to his team. Credit to both guys. What a fight that was, man. What a fight that was.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
here we
give a
go.
round
Let's get
of
to the
applause
decision
to these two fighters. After 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Chris Jones scores this bout 94-94. This bout is a draw.
Which has probably enhanced their reputations. That was the moment that Weber Kane touched down.
Yeah, and that's the moment that, yeah.
There were a lot of twists and a lot of turns throughout that fight. That's a way of summing up what we've just seen in the highlights. And now we're going to get the inside view on how both guys have seen it with Stacey.
First of all, that was an incredible fight. I mean, it was almost as if nobody deserved to lose that one. Of course, you've shared the spoils, but I mean, Mikey, we had a bit of everything there. You both put each other down. You gave absolutely everything. I mean, talk to me first about what it was like for you in there.
I fight. That's what we're here for. That's what we train hard for. Obviously, respect the pretty boxers. They can box and move and look slick, but I want to stand and fight people. That's what I want to do. That old school Barrera, Toro Gatto, proper rough styles, and that's what I want to be.
It was a really tough one, that, Frank. I mean, really entertaining for all of us. Again, how was it for you?
Respect to my opponent. It was a great fight, fantastic fight. That's what the fans want. Great fight.
How proud are you to be involved in a fight like that on an occasion like this? This, obviously, venue packed with really passionate support for both of you.
Every boxer wants to be boxing in venues like this, sharing rings with great opponents like Frank, and having proper fights. That's what we're here for. That's what we put our blood, sweat, tears in for weeks on end. That's what all the sacrifices are for, to go in there and put on shows for these amazing people that spend their hard-earned money to watch us.
Absolutely. You've had a difficult journey at times, Frank, having to come back from a heavy defeat. You've got in there and really given a good account of yourself. What's next for both of you? You first, Frank.
I might have stepped back 2 years ago, but now we're back. But I love the rematch again. But yeah, it's a great fight.
Whatever's there, let our teams talking. You know, we're boxing people. We get in the gym, sacrifice our time and work hard. Our trainers and managers, they set the fights up. We're fighters, we're not going to say no.
And finally, what does it mean in terms of helping your career, being on something like Fight Zone TV and having this platform?
Oh, the opportunity massive. For the O2, Indigo O2, you can't get any bigger than this.
That's it. You need to be out on these big shows, on those great platforms, getting your fights in front of all them hundreds of people. That's what we do. That's why we do it. We love it. We love it.
Well, you've got to love it, because you're both definitely going to look like you've been in a fight tomorrow. You need to go up and get stitches. You need to get an ice pack. But listen, you should be really proud of yourselves. What an incredible, entertaining fight that was. You gave everything and you both deserved the title, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. Well done. Can't wait to see you both back out again on Fight Zone TV. Plenty more action on the way. Plenty more titles on the line. Back to ringside with Paul Dempsey.